Hey, welcome to my private podcast, episode number 1. We are talking about how to stop wasting money at the grocery store when you're living on your own. My name is Nikki Herbert. I'm a life and habits coach for young adults. I teach young adults how to manage their time, their money, which is a big thing we're talking about today, their health and mindset, so they can stop worrying about that day-to-day crap and start actually enjoying their life. So what we're talking about today is my jam. Going grocery shopping for just one person is difficult, especially when you have to figure out a budget on top of it. So as a young adult, you're probably doing one of these 3 things. You're avoiding the problem by just eating a lot of takeout or door dashing. You're living off of processed food like ramen with a fridge full of expired food that is just collecting mold and bacteria. Or you're attempting to go to the grocery store, but failing by spending way too much money and becoming way too overwhelmed. The issue with that is that it's costing you literally money. Which is important as a young adult because you don't have a lot of it. You have all these other things, these bills that you need to be taking care of. So going shopping with no plan, no idea of what you need, no shopping list, you end up buying things you don't need. And it's even worse when these items are perishable, so they're just going into the trash and there's money into the trash can. I don't know if you've seen it. I saw like a TikTok video or some sort. It's like throwing away my weekly bag of salad that I buy at the grocery store and I don't eat. That is a prime example of just buying food just to buy it and then it goes back because you don't eat it. All right. Another way that you're literally costing yourself money is you don't go grocery shopping, so then you just DoorDash food with all those ridiculous convenient fees. Have you seen those fees? They're ridiculous. It's like $22 for one Chick-fil-A meal when you could buy a week's worth of lunch food at the grocery store for that same price. Another way it's costing you literal money is just walking through the aisles and just impulse shopping. We've all done it where you just walk and you're like, ooh, that looks good. That looks good. I've never seen that before. I'll try that. We've all done it. So one statistic that I found, which I know is completely different now since it's 2023 and we have some serious inflation, but in 2020, a single individual household spent about $350 per month in groceries, which is about $88 per week. All right. So think about that for yourself. Number one, if you go grocery shopping, what does it look like? Do you even know how much you spend monthly when it comes to takeout, fast food, DoorDash, groceries? Do you even know that number? Because I think that's super important, which I'm going to dive into at the end. All right. You need to be aware of a couple things. So when it comes to grocery shopping for yourself, you need to figure out what the purpose is. What are the needs for the groceries? And this kind of involves looking at your calendar and schedule also to see what's going on. So for example, do you need just dinner for the week? Do you need breakfast and dinner? Do you need breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Some people have this awesome benefit. I was trying to find the word benefit at their employers where they get a free lunch. So you may not need to buy lunch. Other people don't really eat breakfast, which I don't advise, but don't eat breakfast. So maybe they don't have to focus on breakfast. All right. So we all have our own circumstances, situations that happen. So for example, I go grocery shopping on a weekly basis. I plan breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I work from home. So I need to supply my fridge that way. And I've realized and come to terms with things over years of experience and being in these situations where it's ridiculous to spend the amount of money on DoorDash when I know I could have gotten like a nice, super nice steak meal for 2 people for the same price. Once you figure out once you figure out how to grocery shop, how to create a list, how to budget all these things, you will end up saving money. And I guarantee you can still eat better quality food than you're eating right now. So that was my little tangent. But another thing that you need to be aware of is how much you put in your cart and what you're actually spending. So it's so easy to see like 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, even $6.99 doesn't seem that bad. But when you put 40 things in your cart that are all under $10, I mean, that can really add up. It's sneaky. So you need to be aware of that. And then another thing is, being aware of, are you just kind of trailing through those shopping aisles, thinking at or looking at what looks good without intention and not having like a complete meal, and now you don't know what to do or what you're going to do for that week when it comes to eating. So I have a perfect example of that. So one of my clients, I have worked through this with them. They were essentially living day to day. He'd wake up and realize that there was no food in his apartment and then decided to go grocery shopping. All right. But before he went grocery shopping, he had to eat because he had no food in his apartment. So he went to get some fast food real quick. Because of course, I will say, don't ever go grocery shopping with you're hungry. That's another thing you need to be aware of, because then you're going to end up spending way more money than what you need to as well. So he ended up going grocery shopping, and right then and there's $15 just to eat before he goes grocery shopping. All right. Then go grocery shopping, isn't prepared, doesn't have a list, doesn't even know what a budget would even consist of when it comes to grocery shopping. So he had no idea what to get. So just started randomly walking through the aisles, get some bananas because, right, everybody eats bananas. That's what he thinks he should be eating. Got a frozen pizza because, at least that could give him 2 meals. He could eat half one night and half the other night. Got some lunch meat, maybe some turkey, ham, bread, and of course, a 12-pack of beer, because what else do you get when you're in your 20s? And just some miscellaneous snacks, maybe some pretzels, maybe some frozen taquitos. I don't know. Just a bunch of miscellaneous random things, maybe a pack of ramen. So when he gets home, he then realizes that he doesn't have anything sustainable to last him for the week. So just to recap, he spent $15 getting food before he even went grocery shopping. Spent $100 at the grocery store for random stuff that is not even cohesive to last him for the entire week. And then probably because he didn't buy anything cohesive that's going to last him for the entire week, he now is going to spend probably an additional $50 just on takeout and fast food for that week because he didn't have a plan and he didn't make a list. Right there, $100 at the grocery store, $15 getting food before, and another $50 on takeout and fast food. That's $165 in just 1 week. All right. That's a lot to be spending if you are living by yourself and not even getting cohesive things. And going back to that statistic that I said earlier, in 2020, the average was about $88 per week. In this example that he would have frequently, almost on a weekly basis, he was spending $165 on food in a variety of ways, multiple places, and wasn't even eating quality foods, things that he enjoyed, any of that. Just spending money, wasting money that he did not need to be wasting, that could have been going to other things like a car loan, student debt, paying rent, keeping the lights on in your apartment. There are so many other things that his money could have been going to as a young adult. So I've seen most people get stuck in 2 places. Number one, they don't know where to begin when it comes to budgeting for groceries, so they just avoid it altogether. And that's kind of like what my client was doing. But here's the thing, avoidance doesn't actually work. It only creates more fuel to the fire. So when you avoid, you end up wasting your money, even more money than what you're already doing, and you're wasting your time now by avoiding. The other way people get stuck or young adults get stuck is essentially they don't know how to budget, or they do have a budget and don't know what to do with that budget. So maybe they don't know, like, all right, so I know I can budget myself $100 a week. I don't even know what to do that with that money. So how do I plan out a list? And how can I plan out a list when I maybe don't even really know how to cook? So that's a big roadblock if you don't even know how to cook, how to even grocery shop, right? And that kind of goes back to the avoidance thing as well. If you don't know how to cook, you're just going to avoid grocery shopping altogether, because that's going to require you to do some sort of preparation and cooking. All right. So the best way to resolve these issues right now is to go to the store with a list. I have a template that I use on a weekly basis for my grocery shopping, but I want to give to you. So just as a side note, if you want a list that's going to help you be more organized, reply back to this email and I will send it to you. Regardless, if you use my list or use your own, start easy. All right. You have to start in simple, small steps. Don't expect, I mean, it would be nice, but if you need to go grocery shopping for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, don't expect to create an entire list for 7 days worth of breakfast, lunch, and dinner on your first attempt. Go easy. Maybe just focus on breakfast and lunch. All right. Baby steps. Okay. So you're going to start with a list, create a list, bring it to the store with you. Been there where I've completely forgotten my list. And then you're going to execute buying only the things that you wrote down on your list. That is a practice in itself. Okay. So there are different ways to achieve these results, right? Food lists for grocery stores should be tailored to your finances and lifestyles, because we're all different. We have our own walks of life, how much money we make, how much we budget, how much food we need, what type of food we need as well. And this is part of the process. So I educate my clients on budgeting money for groceries, managing their meals to fit their schedules, and improving their health through grocery trips. Because the food that you put in your body is going to help you succeed at your goals, and everything else make you feel better, reduce your anxiety, overwhelm, everything else, okay? Naturally expands to the other parts of your life. So here's some things that we do. We evaluate your finances. I mentioned this at the beginning, but we need to find out and calculate how much money you're spending per month on food, including groceries, fast food, DoorDash, restaurants, all of the above. All right. Another thing we do next is kind of figure out your purpose, your lifestyle. How can we create a budget around what you need? So going back to what's the goal? Is it to shop for specific meals? Is it to stop eating out? Is it to eat healthier? Is it to get the most bang for your buck? All right. And then also, all lifestyles are different. And because of that, our budgets will be different. Number 3 is we're going to start planning. So I want to take inventory of what you already have in your maybe your pantry, your fridge. It might not be much, but I want to know what's in there. We're going to talk about meals. We're going to talk about food ideas, and we're going to create grocery lists. I do have resources for my clients that give them at least 50 meal ideas to help them that are simple, easy, that most people can do. All right. Next, we practice. You have to build this new life skill. This is a skill that you need to have to move forward with your life. When you get into relationships, that's adding another person. If you have kids, that's adding another person. You know, you start having more expenses as life goes on, depending on your lifestyle. And this is a skill that you need now and for the future. So this is 100% not a one and done type of thing. So we practice building this new life skill. You go shopping. You practice buying only what is on the list. And you repeat this process for a little while to figure out how it's going. And if we need to make adjustments, what's that going to look like? If you're ready to make that move, click the link in the comments or description below. Let's chat. Schedule a free 45-minute consultation call. Like I said, it's free. It's our time to literally talk about what's going on in your life, how you need to manage your money, how you need a budget, how you need to create grocery lists, execute, and start saving money in different ways and learning how to stop wasting money at the grocery store living on your own. Thank you for listening. I will talk to you guys soon and have an awesome day.